There's nothing quite like the experience of visiting a busy steam shed, with the noises, the smells, and surrounded by locomotives. In March 1968, steam was rapidly disappearing from British Railways, and I wanted to use every moment I could of spare time to go visit and experience these last few months. I set out from my home in Manchester on a local train service to Liverpool, with my Ian Allen shed directory, an essential piece of kit, to find Edge Hill Motive Power Depot, and hoping that it was still open. When I arrived it was raining and the shed was eerily quiet. Nothing was moving, so I followed another enthusiast under a bridge as an 8F appeared above us. Then a black 5 with a van, promising there was obviously still steam about. Hidden from the shed, the coaling area was full of steam. Ayrshire Yeomanry came off the main line and down a crazy steep 1 in 20 connecting ramp. Sanders on, the driving wheels locked up as the driver tried to keep it from running away. He got to the bottom successfully. I wasn't the only young lad enjoying the action that Saturday. An 8F comes down the same steep incline. As Ayrshire Yeomanry moves back to give more room, another 8F escapes up the incline and away to another job. I was invited into the cab by a young past fireman, Ken Berwick, who had the job of dropping a very clinkered fire, coaling and then taking the engine round to the shed for stabling over the weekend. Engines were moving all around me, and more arriving all the time. I'm in ecstasy. The shed is in the middle of a confusing array of tracks and sidings, encircled by a railway embankment called the gridiron. On shed was an 8F about to leave, the driver cleaning coal off the cab roof so it doesn't fall on someone. A few weeks later I persuaded my dad to drive me back to Liverpool in our Morris Minor along the East Lancs Road. Our first stop was Speke Junction Shed, where a solitary 8F was in steam. The yard is crowded with abandoned 9Fs ready for the scrap. Speke, as well as Birkenhead, had a large concentration of 9Fs to power heavy oil trains from Stanlow Refinery. Arriving at Edge Hill, the shed is quiet, with only a solitary engine circulating on the gridiron. Walking through to the coaling stage, it's not much better, but across the tracks, a Class 5 moves some coaches a few yards. Then suddenly, on the other side of the sidings, we see some action. Another Black 5 has stalled trying to get a train moving. There's quite a gradient out of the siding, and they call up a helper engine. As I film, my dad watches and takes a few photographs himself. Walking back to the shed, we find the lead engine from the drama we've just observed has returned and come to grief on points. So let's see, 50 years on, what Edge Hill shed looks like today. First off, let's put the area into context. Here's a map of Edge Hill's layout in the 1950s and 1960s. There's a lot of railway stuff going on there. The engine shed is here, and the gridiron is on an embankment circling the large railway site. The coal stage is here, cut off from the shed by the gridiron embankment along here. On the other side, and on the same level as the coaling stage, is the carriage sidings. This is a picture my dad took of me filming the loco we saw shunting the carriage sidings. If we go to Google Map today, we can see immediately the railway activity is much reduced. The gridiron has gone. This is where the shed used to be. It's now a technology park and an NHS centre. The gridiron embankment has been removed, so we look straight onto what was the coaling stage, where I stood and filmed these engines. The carriage sidings are still there, and here's where the engine stalled and needed help. Another picture taken of me filming the event by my dad. As the trains pulled away, I went down onto the road to film it leaving, which is still recognisable. Let's go and have a look at Speke Junction Shed to the south of Liverpool. It was in a triangle of track which is still there today, but empty. Just as a point of reference to my visit there in 1968, here's a street view where my dad parked and took a picture of dumped 9Fs above a wall, which is still recognisable today, though the 9Fs have long gone. This is what Speke Junction used to look like. Sidings everywhere, including down to the docks on the River Mersey. Thanks for watching, and I hope this film gives you some impression of the old steam days. Don't forget to subscribe and hit the thumbs up button, and I'll see you here next time.